Hey, you. Welcome to my podcast. Do you like amebo, unsolicited advice, and very unconventional opinions about Christianity, mental health, and psychology? Then you're in the right place. It's Monday Morning Brand with Miss James H. Let's go. Ẹ̀yin tèmi, my people. Welcome again to Monday Morning Rants with Mercy. It's another episode, mouth-watering, um, exposing, and revealing episode of Monday Morning Rant. I want to believe that you had a lovely weekend, and if you didn't, so glory be to God all the same. If you are listening to this on a Wednesday morning, on a Thursday morning, Saturday morning, anyone, whichever, in fact, if it be Sunday night, safe, whatever time you are listening to me, thank you for choosing to listen. And for my consistent, stable listeners, God bless you now. Thank you for supporting this. And if you are new here, where have you been since now? I don't do wait for you. Now, yeah, the expect. You are the reason why I set up my microphone today and decided to record. Now, why? Now, you be the why. You are the one I have been waiting for. Okay, let me comport myself. But if this is your first time, thank you so much for choosing to listen to Monday Morning Rants. I want to promise you're going to have a swell time. You're going to enjoy yourself. Um, okay, if you missed last week's episode, quick one. If this is your first time or you listen to me, norms, and you missed last week's episode, for you to be able to carry along with this week's episode, you might have to listen to last week's one. So just pause this and go back to listen so that we will not forget you at the back. You understand where I'm going with this and what I'll be talking about. Anyways, if you are listening to me on your way to work or at work, just find one corner, plug your earpiece, and let's go on this ride. This episode, I'm going to be your famous Bajawiri therapist. Yes, I'm here to continue what we started last week, which is overcompensation and the stages, the points in our lives where we overcompensate. And from last week's round, I sort of spoke about it as a generational thing, like based on the Gen Zs, the millennials, depending. There are some things we overcompensate for because of what we experienced, and then things our parents also overcompensate. Anyways, you get the gist. And last week I spoke about how sometimes you overcompensate when it comes to marriage related issues. When you hear somebody saying, I'll marry for money, love is a scam, something, I just know, and I know that you did not grow up with money, or there was lack of money, and something trauma based in you thinking like that, because marriage is not supposed to be just a financial decision. Yeah. Then I spoke about in child rearing, child upbringing now, how we millennials that are becoming parents now are overcompensating for our parents overly disciplining us by having rude, uncultured children, because you don't want to beat my child, don't touch my child, don't do this, don't do that. Then I spoke about finances, how you can overcompensate in finances by either overspending or finding it really difficult to spend money even when you have it. You go see price 15 naira thing with a book, even with the millions in your account. Then to take out money to buy something for yourself. I don't think I mentioned this one last week, Sha, but it is also overcompensation. If you're always budgeting, even when you can afford to do yeah, but don't get me wrong. Oh, I'm not saying because you have money you should not be split spilling it and splurging and just spending anyhow. That's not what I'm talking about. But like basic needs that you can afford to ease yourself off, like, or some small comfort thing. you are still budgeting and budgeting and budgeting, it is overcompensation. And it means you have trauma related to financial things. And also those that live fake life trying to prove that they are something by spending all the money they have. That is also overcompensation. Then I spoke about with self-esteem as well, how sometimes people that tend to be extremely outgoing sometimes are covering up the inadequacy they feel, the shyness and all of that. And then there's a tendency for them to become uncomfortable in their silence. So they try to talk and talk, and then at the end of the day, they become talkatives and they go back home drained, social battery is dead and all of that. And also, I think I mentioned how that also relates to career, how sometimes you are just trying so desperately to prove a point of I'm something, I'm worth something, I know how to do my job. You're always trying to prove a point, always and always, just because you don't want to portray the fear and the inadequacies you feel in yourself. Which other one? Friendship, yes. People that tend not to be able to detach themselves from horrible friends because they had to either work for people's approval, or they didn't have friends in the early stages of their life. They were always bullied, they were always abandoned, or they were not likable. People didn't like, not necessarily that you're not likable, Sha. They're just children like that end up being the object of bullying in primary school and nursery and sometimes secondary, and it affects you, so you feel you constantly have to prove your love to people. So even when you have horrible friends that treat you badly, you keep giving and giving and giving to them, hoping that one day they will notice you and love you back. Then I also spoke about the other side of that, where you can't, you don't feel the need to have close friendships because you were betrayed in friendships earlier in your life. And I remember sharing my own personal story of that. So, this is a quick 7 minutes recap of what we spoke about last week. This is not now an excuse for you not to go and listen to last week's rant. Go and listen to if you missed last week's rant, so that you can get a full picture. Go and listen to it. So this week I'm going to be talking about how to stop overcompensating as an individual in different areas. These different areas I've mentioned. Oh, I forgot religion. I mentioned religion too. How church hurts sometimes make people overcompensate in the sense, so I don't want to have anything to do with church. I don't want to all of that. Yeah. So this week we are going to be talking about how to stop overcompensating, how to embrace yourself for yourself, improve on the insecurities that make you always want to overcompensate, always want to portray the direct opposite of what you are truly feeling. And this thing, I feel it happens to everybody in different lights. There are people that are truly healed, yes. So you might not be able to relate to this, but I feel many of us, including myself, can relate to a time in our lives where we were overcompensating for something that was trauma based or experience based. So the first thing I'll say that is on a general note, or that spreads across all points, finances, self-esteem, friendship, all of that, overcompensating in all those points, is self-awareness. Self-awareness in the sense that you have to understand where that thing is coming from. I feel a lot of us run away from understanding in depthly what your problem is. Okay, when I say it like that, it sounds one kind, but yes, you need to know, sit down. Some of us find it so hard. This one is not even ADHD or anything. That's another thing. Now everybody's having ADHD, now self-diagnosed ADHD. That's not what I'm talking about. Yes, so there are people that find it hard to concentrate. But sometimes I feel a lot of us are so scared to come in contact with our real selves that we just try our best to always distract ourselves. Some of you are in relationships as distraction. You are dating that boy, there's no future. You're with that girl, there's no promise of anything. You people are just using each other as a distraction to, compensate for something in your life you don't want to face. Some of us use career, you're just drenched in work. Sometimes when other people are taking days off, public holiday, you're always the one they will find in the office, always working because you're trying so hard to run away from something in yourself that you don't want to confront. It's time for you to confront those things. Sit down. And I'm particularly talking to my Christian sisters and brothers because I feel also there are sometimes we use spirituality to cover up some things. You should not get me wrong, oh. God will always be sufficient for us. I get it, but being spiritual does not take away the place of self development and self awareness. So some of you too actually use church as a form of distraction. You are always in church. You are always doing something in church. You had a serious heartbreak, 5 years, 7 years relationship that ended so badly. You have not cried about it. You've not mourned it. You've not sat down to even think about what happened. You just picked up and continued with your activities as a form of distraction. And then those things morph into other things that now make you overcompensate in other aspects of your life. When you catch yourself saying things like, Omo, me, I can't marry for love. Love is a scam. Or Omo, na lie, men always cheat. Omo, na lie, women cannot love you unconditionally. Women's love is always conditional. Omo, poor man no fit find love. Oh, now who get money they find love. When you catch yourself saying things like that sound stereotypical and oftentimes stems from something. When you catch yourself, sit down and ask yourself, where is this thing coming from? For some of you, it's from seeing what your parents' marriage was like. It was horrible. They treated each other badly. Sometimes there are parents that are good parents, like good fathers, good mothers, but they were horrible partners to each other. So, and sometimes children see these things and it sort of forms your perspective of what marriage is supposed to be. So if you catch yourself saying things like that, men always cheat, all those kind of statements, sit down. It is coming from somewhere. Sit down and think about it. Why do I think like this? Why don't I think marriage is a beautiful thing? You understand some kind of things people think about when it comes to like those negative things you think about. When you see happy couple, you just be like, oh man, I like they are pretending. I'm very sure behind closed doors they are hating each other or beating each other, blah 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 blah. What makes you think like that? You need to get to the root of it. Sit down and actually think about it. Then, when you get to the reason why, maybe your parents, maybe you had a terrible heartbreak, it might even be your environment sometimes. Like, you can have loving parents and that have a beautiful marriage, but then you look around you, out of 20 married people, your parents are the only happy one. So you're like, what will my odds be? Sit down and think about it. Understand where that negative thing is coming from, where that overcompensating sentence and statements where it's originating from. Then when you catch yourself and catch what it is, journal about it. I always talk about journaling. And trust me, if you go to a professional therapist, they'll tell you the same thing. Journaling helps you to be self aware. It helps you to sometimes clarify your thoughts because sometimes you can think and forget those thoughts. But when you write it down, you remember what those thoughts were. So write it down and begin to try to reorient yourself. And one thing I always say with reorientation is if you behold as in a mirror, we are being conformed. So it is the same thing with life. Something, a perspective you consistently put before yourself, you begin to mirror it. So if you want to believe in happy marriages, surround yourself with perspectives of married people that show you that a beautiful marriage is possible. So if you have a friend that is happily married, instead of you constantly being angry when she's talking about her, my husband is so loving, there's how some people can just be angry when they see somebody that is a husband's girl always talking about her husband. Like, what is it safe? I'm sure it's a lie. I'm sure she's just pretending. Instead of you thinking like that, when she talks about her husband like that, internalize it in the sense of, I'm going to also have a happy marriage. Wow, this is so beautiful to see. I'm so happy for you, sis. Begin to try to believe that truly a beautiful marriage is possible. And also with social media, some of us consume a lot of nonsense on social media. And the funny thing is, they've given you the option of blocking content that you don't want to see. So you see all those contents of her husband beat her, one man burnt his wife to death, one man stoned his wife, kiniko kiniko. All those negative perspectives of marriage. Once it comes to your timeline, just scroll and tell Facebook or TikTok or whatever, I don't want to see this kind of content again. But when you see a video of Vicky James and her husband, kissing, doing lovey lovey, instead of joining people to say it's fake, I beg, we go see whether this marriage will last. Like it, look at it and do. Oh, do you get? Begin to embrace a picture of a beautiful marriage. Begin to embrace it, and not just online social media. If you have maybe an older couple or friends that are married, that are happily married, go visiting them, see how they relate with each other, and internalize it. Tell yourself, oh, mommy, self, I will marry once and I will marry well. I will marry once, I'll marry right. You know, positive things like that. Surround your mind with it. And if it's the idea of, oh, more marriage is for money and this one, that one, begin to condition yourself to know that money is not everything. And one thing me, I even somehow believe when it comes to that idea of marriage is a financial decision, how most ladies say that thing. Me, I feel if you are so scared of poverty, then it should motivate you to actually make your own money. Why do you want to wait for a man that has money? If you hate poverty so much, then start something. Try to elevate yourself from poverty by yourself, so that no man will even come and be telling you and want you self go feel like better person. Do you get? If you hate poverty so much, which is not necessarily a bad thing, you don't have to wait for marriage to take you out of poverty. Find a job. Stop sitting your ass around and waiting for handouts from men, or you're always billing men. You don't have shame, no embarrassment in your eye. You as you're begging one for data, you're begging one for shawarma, you have turned yourself to fine bara. Eh? Fine bara wearing bone straight. Just find something doing yourself that will take you out of that poverty. I've seen people that married rich men that are still poor. You don't know there's how you can marry a rich man that is overcompensating with finances, because he used to be poor too, but now he's rich. He's akagom. You know that side of overcompensation. So you tell him you need 100K or 200K for market shopping. You will tell you to go and write list and put the price in front. Then you total it, maybe it's 135,550. And then it gives you 140 and tells you to bring his change back. You don't know there are rich men like that. So be whining yourself of, I want to marry rich man. You can marry rich man, it will not show on your body. He will buy you fine clothes. He will buy you what you want. But you will not, some will not even buy you what you want. That's the funny thing. So at the end of the day, you are living with a rich man, but you are still a poor woman. So make your own money. Find way to make it. If you hate poverty, make your own money. For overcompensating in friendship and relationships, and yeah, I think majorly friendship and you're that type of person that is always giving and giving yourself to people and they treat you badly. It's time for you to put boundaries in place. And one thing that I've discovered is for people pleasers, once you get that first high, it's like smoking weed or cocaine or something. That your first high, you taste what it feels like. You're like, I want another one. That's what it's like when you finally learn to say no when you're not comfortable with something. You taste what it feels like to actually say no and be okay with meaning that no and keeping your boundaries in place, not pushing yourself down for anybody. It feels so good. So just try it one time. That friend that you are always doing for and they don't send your papa, you know they don't send you, but you're hoping one day all the love you are giving will finally pay off for you. One day just say no. They might hate you for it, they might scream at you, you're not a good friend, they will try to manipulate you. But say that no and mean it and stand on it. It feels so good. Put boundaries in place. You can go and listen to my podcast, the earlier episode. I think, Hey Boundaries. Yes, there are two parts of it. Go and listen to it so that you can understand what boundaries are supposed to look like in friendship. There are things your friends shouldn't do to you. It doesn't like it's not she's just like that sometimes. Kiniko, no. There are things you should never tolerate from people. There's some level of betrayal. Like you shouldn't just still keep the person around and then be rubbing the person's head and be finding a way to even make the person stop betraying you, or maybe I did not love her enough. Let me love her a little more. No. Learn to uphold your boundaries, set boundaries in place, and to those of you that are emotional parents for your friends, yeah, the shoulder to I can absolutely relate with this part, and I I'm finding it reluctant to share this story, but I think I should. So sometime in 2020, a bit 2020, I can't remember. The PTSD from that experience also lingered with me for a while. And initially, after the incident happened, I was off the grid for like close to 4 months. I was not online because my phone was stolen, so I was not online. I had not retrieved my SIMs, so I was using someone's SIM. Then when I retrieved my SIM, I had to just put the SIM in a small phone. I didn't have an Android phone for a couple of months. And even when I got an Android, I was just not feeling being online and interacting and all of that. And in that moment, I realized something that changed my perspective of not just friendship but relationships from that point. No, it was for me, who is usually active online, and all my friends know her. Messi is always active online. You can reach out. There are people I can't even count how many times somebody will call me 3 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm having relationship problems. Please advise me. Please give me counsel. I will be up. I have work the next morning, but oh, this my friend needs me right now. I'm up. Um giving advice, giving counsel. Some will not even still take the advice at the end of the day, but I'm sure doing it anyways, being there for friends. And then for 4 months, there were friends that did not even notice, like people I considered my G, my guy, that didn't even notice I was offline for 4 months. And that thing hit me somewhere. I'm like, wow, life is that's what life be. Initially, it was from a place of hurt, like these are people I will do anything for. These are people I've gone out of my way for friends, like out of my way sometimes for friends. And some of these people I went out of my way for did not even notice. Someone even when I finally even came online, someone messaged, message long time. Oh. Abi, no, was that no, it was something like you don't forget me, safe now. Wow. I'm like, wow. And there were some people that even found out about what happened to me. They found out about it. They got access to the number I was using at the time and they still didn't call me. It hurt me so much. Like, I'm like, wow. And I will not forget one of my friends. I met her that year. I met her in 2021. And in less than 3 weeks of me not being online, this girl noticed and like, where's Mercy? It's been a while. She started asking about me. In fact, she stopped talking to some of our friends then that I was in the same state with and had not reached out to me. She's like, you're a terrible person. You had this thing happen to her and you have not reached out to her. I'm not talking to you anymore. She called me. She kept calling throughout that period of me not even being online and stuff. She will look for a way to reach out to me. The person I was staying with at the time, she collected her number. She would call the number, try to speak to me almost every day, constantly checking on me. How's your mental health? How are you doing? And there are people that have been calling my guy for 8 years, 10 years that did not even notice I was off the grid for 4 months. And that thing hurt me so much. But when I was past the hurt, I just discovered that this one is not about me just being hurt about. It's about me now understanding that there are people I need to cut off from my life. Not necessarily like block you or delete your number, but no, I need to arrange you according to level of importance that you have, because I understand everybody, something's going on with everybody. Life is hard for everybody, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But me knowing I'm someone that life cannot be so hard for me that we not notice a friend of mine has been off the grid for 4 months and I will not notice at all. Someone that I used to hear from constantly. So, that thing cleared my eye, man. It cleared my eye. So I'm sharing the same thoughts with you, not from a place of now start hating on. Honestly, most of those people, I don't even the hurts have gone. I'm not even offended anymore by any of those things. It have passed so much that sometimes I can't even, when someone say, have you heard from this person? And I remember, oh, this person actually used to exist in my life. Like I've forgotten so much about some of, like, it doesn't matter anymore. You get. But my point is, you need to arrange people according to their level of importance in your life, and make sure you now caution the access you give people to you. It's not everybody that should have access to you. Some of us, there's too much access to you, like too much. Too much. You need to cut down on the kind of people you give access to. Some of you are still friends with exes that broke your into the heartbreak. In fact, you are still, it's part of the reason why you're overcompensating in relationship till now. But you're still friends with that person. You be doing win with the person. Someone that I'm not saying, see, you should not get me wrong. Go. I'm not saying you should be unforgiving. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But you should caution the access you give people to you for your mental health sake. That's all I'm saying. So arrange people according to the level of importance they have in your life. Family, friends, like the first friends, acquaintances, colleagues. Don't just term everybody friend. You get it? Yeah. Another thing I'll talk about is trying and learning to be vulnerable in yourself. Like, I'm not saying you should now always wear your hat on your sleeve. No, that's not what I mean. But there's a way you can be authentic to yourself. I also learned, there was a time I was learning about public speaking, and one thing I read about that actually helped me is sometimes telling your audience, "Oh, I'm so shy. I hope I don't stutter on my way." Maybe you stutter, you laugh at yourself, and like, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous in front of all of you." Putting it out there. Oh, this is how I feel is better than now being nervous and then blabbing a lot of nonsense. There are some people that try because they're so nervous trying to talk, then they now become overly bubbly and then they're just saying rubbish and be going. So learn to be vulnerable sometimes. You don't necessarily always have to keep it in, keep it tight. If you're shy, let people know you're shy. Like, honestly, I'm feeling so shy right now. Can I catch my breath? Things like that. Then if you are in a situation, maybe at work or something, there's a role you are not able to do properly. If there's someone you can trust around there, I've also done rants about workplace this thing. So go and listen to that one too, so that you understand where I'm coming from. Choose someone you can trust and open up to them. Or more, this thing I'm finding difficult to. Is there how you can help me? Learn to be vulnerable in a way that helps you be authentic to yourself. You don't always have to wear that mask and, just hide and hide and hide. With time, you suppress yourself so much, you don't even know which part of yourself is real. You don't know which one is the actual you. Then you now start having multiple personality disorder because you have buried one personality. You uplifted one for one particular phase of your life. Then that phase passes you. You have to now find a way to resurrect another personality. There's such a thing as multiple personality disorder. And I feel sometimes it stems from things like this. You overcompensate for shyness, for timidity, low self esteem. You keep overcompensating and trying so hard to put yourself and make yourself look like, oh, I'm so bold, I'm so confident, I'm so this, I'm so that, that you are not dealing with the actual root cause of your low self esteem. You are not getting better. You're actually not a confident person. All of that is a facade. And then something happens in your life that cracks that wall that you've built so high, cracks it from top to, like, collapse the whole thing. And then you are laid bare. And in that moment, that kind of vulnerability breaks you. So try sometimes, like, pinches of vulnerabilities here and there, at work, with your friends, especially, like I said, those of you that are always trying to be, you're always there for people, always there. Try sometimes, for those people to also be there for you. If they ask you, how are you? Don't always say, I'm fine, I'm fine. For once, start with little things. I'm not saying you should not go and tell all your life secrets, because that's another part of overcompensating. There are some people that tend to overshare, and oversharing is also overcompensating. In friendship, it can also be a thing, oversharing. I'm not saying you should now start oversharing. No. Try small, small things like, oh, I'm not fine, actually. I had a very rough day at work. Small, small things. Try to be vulnerable with those your friends. They're always bringing their problems to you. You self, try once to carry your own problem to them. Like, oh, this is how I'm feeling right now. Even if they don't have anything to help with that, oh, I'm here for you. Do you want a hug? Let me call you. You put laugh over the phone. It's something, rather than when you are going through something, you now be alone. You are all by yourself, nobody to talk to, because you've not learned to be vulnerable with people. You are always uptight, you're always confident, you're the bold one, nothing's wrong with you. Try sometimes that wall, bring it down small. Bring it down, keremi, small, small. Now to finances, something I want to say about the financial part of overcompensation. For those of you that tend to, try to live fake life because you're trying to impress somebody. Ask yourself, this thing I want to buy, this thing I want to do, am I buying it for myself? Or I want people to see that I have this thing? Once it is the latter, please just use your money for something else. Save it. I heard some of you are spending millions in the club to impress. To impress who? Person will no send you. Huh? So calm down. Mm. Ask yourself very well, this decision I'm about to make, future me, will I be proud of it? And if I'm doing this thing out of um fear of being seen as poor or being seen as worthless, don't do it. See, one thing that needs to be far from my own mouth is, I'm sorry, I cannot afford it. It is not a bad thing. There's nothing as mature. Okay, there are other things as mature. Yeah. Financial maturity. When you say things like, I can't afford it screams financial maturity. Knowing fully well that according to my budget, this thing doesn't fit in. According to how much I'm earning right now, it is foolishness for me to spend this kind of money on just shoe. It's not poverty mentality, trust me. It is cutting your coat according to your size. It is, don't try. You are carrying a designer bag. You don't have a roof over your, that one they shock me. You people are 15 living in a 10 million naira rent apartment just because you want people to know, oh, I live on the island. I live in Asokoro. Just so you portray yourself as big and up there, please be wise. And if you have bags, designer, plenty things that you have bone straight, and you know yourself in yourself that your net worth is surrounded around all those useless things you used your money on, but you don't have any investments, you don't have anything else other than that. Me, I will advise you. I'm not a fan of saying you should sell your property, but honestly, maybe you should sell some of those things and use it to start small business. Use it to start small business. So learn to budget. Learn to always have a budget for things. Always have moments of I want to spoil myself. But in your spoiling, don't be foolish. Okay, that sounds harsh, but yes, in your spoiling of yourself, don't be foolish in your spending. Cause there's some of parents like the Gen X's that made such life decisions. And then you now see them now, they are poor, they are broke, they are sick. They couldn't even take care of their children and their wife, most of because they were busy gallivanting, wasting money when they had it. In the 80s and 70s, when house was how much that they could afford to buy houses and buy all those things. I beg, money go come. They were busy living big life and having nothing, living in a rented apartment for close to 50 years. So tell the landlord have died. It's not the landlord's son now that is collecting rates from them because of foolish financial decisions that some of, no disrespect, but yeah, some of those people made. Foolish, some. Honestly, like if you sit some, I don't know why some of us don't sit with older people. Sit with them and ask questions. That in this stage of their life, most of them are very vulnerable and so bad. They will explain to you, see, my son, this thing where you want to know makes sense. So when I was your age, I did it too. Talk to some of these people so that you understand this thing you are doing now of spending millions in club. They did it in their time too. And that's why they don't have investments, they don't have anything, they don't have a legacy, they don't have inheritance to pass to their children. So ask yourself, in the next 20 years, this thing where I want, this financial decision I'm about to make, will my future self be proud of it? Then the other side of financial overcompensation, where you find it so hard to spend any money at all. My dear, relax. Take cold zobo and breathe in, breathe out. God, you have escaped. Calm down, you have escaped. That poverty that you are scared of, you have escaped already. So that money you are locking in your account, take small out, buy real estate. Take small out, buy shares. You can't just lock money in your account. Eh? You have millions in your account. You're always still drinking Gary. You're like, Gary is not poor man food. In your case, it is poor man food. Eat shawarma for a break. My brother eats shawarma, please. Eh? Shower fish, eat chicken, eat turkey. You can afford to. God has blessed you enough to be able to afford some of the. Please calm down. You have escaped poverty. You have escaped. You have escaped. Take time to self love yourself with your money. You worked for it, so enjoy it. If you are married, take your wife out, and you should go. Just spend small money and enjoy yourself. You will not become poor on the account of that small money you want to use and buy. How much is TV? How much is 10K? Yeah, budget. Yeah, you have. It is well. God will help you. So when next you can afford something you see and your mind is telling you, this is a foolish spending, that's where poverty mentality now comes in. Where you can afford to do something, but you refuse to do it because you are just so scared. That one gone. That's where poverty mentality comes in. So if you have been seeing this week, oh, human hair, you have one certain plenty amount in your account. If you take out this 80K and buy this thing, it will not change anything. Please take it out and buy that hair. That shoe that you have been eyeing, say you be like, I go come carry 60K buy shoe, God forbid. Which kind mumu? If you can afford it, please do it. Eh? You have millions in your account. How much is 60K inside that millions? Do you understand? It is foolishness when you can't afford it, but if you can afford it, it is akagomness. So take out that money and buy that thing. Bible says, talk am. The small life you have been given, enjoy it while it lasts. Just take out that money, buy what you want to enjoy, to eat, to wear, to charity. Sometimes makes you feel good actually. Buy some things for orphanage home, take it there. You know, the children are happy, they are singing for you. It makes you feel really good. Do some of those things. No, not be all the time. Go, they save money, they save money. Savings, calm down. The esteem part, self-esteem. See, that voice in your head that is telling you you're not good enough. You no get sense. Who wants to hear what you have to say? Constantly reaffirm yourself without necessarily putting yourself out there, even when you don't have to, overdoing. No, calm down in stillness. Stop distracting yourself. Like I said earlier, you don't always have to be busy. Sometimes just be by yourself. Play solemn music and just think, reminisce, calm down, pray, listen to good music, just by yourself without necessarily looking for distraction, and still constantly learn to still that negative voice in your head telling you are not good enough. I I listened to one sermon by DDK, and she mentioned how sometimes it can be positive to yell out affirmations. When that noise, that whispers in your head is so loud, shout, I am good enough. Yes, I am good enough. I am not dumb. I'm not a dullard. I am smart. Saying positive, counter that negative voice with positive affirmations to yourself. And with time, and I will never leave out the place of God in it. You people know. Nobody heals a broken heart. Nobody heals wounds of the heart like God does. The comfort He gives, nobody else can give. Nobody else can give, man. So don't just do affirmations and all of that. Pray. You can pray your affirmations. Trust me, everything you are looking, word of affirmation, it choke inside Bible. Look for those words. I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. I am the head, I'm not the tail. Things like that. Pray it over yourself till your soul and your spirit and your entire being believes it. So that you don't have to portray who you are. No, you are truly that person. When you now come out refined, confident, with high self-esteem, with um all of those positive things, you are not faking it, you are it. And learn to celebrate your small wins. Every small, no matter how small it looks to you, try to celebrate it. Oh, I hit this number of views, I've never had this number of views before. Celebrate it. I was able to do these tasks at work. I was finding it really hard to do. I was able to do. Enjoy your achievements. Don't not be chasing the next achievement, the next achievement. So you achieve something, you can't even enjoy the feeling of wow, I'm so proud of myself. So small achievement, tell you I'm proud of myself. I'm so smart. Oh my God, this thing done. I'm proud. I'm happy. And also share it with people that are positive in your life. There are some people you share achievements with now and it's wahala. You get it. And with the church thing too, just no matter what church hurts you've experienced, just tell God to heal your heart. And while going to church, always know God is the reason. Like church is I don't want to say that cliche thing, but it is what it is. You meet people that are also aspiring to change in church. You get, so don't, even some of your pastors, or some of you elevate pastors is why you get disappointed. God is the only one you should trust wholly and completely with everything. But your highest vulnerability should always be to God, not to any man. You get, so go with an open mind. If you've not gone to church in several months, I'm inviting you now to come to church. Don't just stay at home and be like, oh, I can't do this church thing. Like, God forbid. Their wahala is too much. Come to church. There are beautiful, there are wonderful churches around you. You just not gone yet. There are churches where there are more healed people, there are more sick people. You get? Yeah, so take a deep breath, You're not behind, you're not broken, you are becoming. Keep working on yourself. And I trust you will get there. Yeah, you will get there. So throughout this week and even after this week, whenever you catch yourself overcompensating for something, just remember Mercy's voice in your head. Take a deep breath, calm down, and be yourself. Just be yourself. Yeah. So I see you next week. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead. And please go to church on Sunday. Like I said, go to church. If you've not gone in several months, don't worry. Just wear a fine clothes, wear whatever you have, and walk into a living church in your vicinity. Yeah. Love you. Bye. Peace.